Hello, everyone. First of all, I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Kapler, and I'm a junior at Crestwood High School over in Cresco. I'm so excited to see everyone gathering here and seeing everything come together. It's really cool. I wanted to start off by talking a little bit about one of my favorite little girls. My niece, Zenith Hanani Kanaloy Imogene Crambule, was born on February 21st, 2019. Her mom's Hawaiian. It's Hawaiian tradition to have 3 middle names. So. Anyway, Zenny is 3 years old now, and she comes to visit about once a month. Although she comes to visit Grandma's house, she always asks to see my boyfriend Nate, who she likes to call Auntie Nate. And if he's lucky, he might even get an Uncle Nate. A few months ago on her visit, I asked her if she wanted to go see Nate's basketball game in New Hampton. I told her we could go to McDonald's. If she was good, she could get an ice cream cone and a toy from her Happy Meal. She was all in. We got all bundled up and headed for New Hampton. Zenny sat through the freshman game, the junior varsity game, and the varsity game. She danced at the music at halftime, and she pointed out where Nate was every chance that she got. After the varsity game was finished, I had a ton of moms come up to me and compliment me on how well behaved she was. They were 100% correct. She was an angel. She didn't complain about being bored once, and she actually watched the games. After the varsity game, she ran up to Nate and gave him a big hug. And you best believe that Zenny got a picture sitting on Nate's lap. As we headed to McDonald's, I listened as she sang some of her favorite songs, like the ABCs and Itsy Bitsy Spider. She got her chicken nuggets, french fries, chocolate milk, and her favorite part of the whole meal, the toy. After about 10 minutes of driving home, I realized that Zenny had fallen asleep in her car seat. I looked in my rearview mirror and just took in the moments that we spent together and how precious and innocent she was. As I sat down to think about what I was going to talk about today, those moments that I spent with my niece were all I could think about. When my brother and sister-in-law found out that they were pregnant, they were both 20 years old, living in Hawaii. My brother was in the Army, and my sister-in-law was in college. They weren't exactly financially stable for a child. As I sat down to think about this speech, I realized how different my family's lives would be without Zenny. I thank God that my sister-in-law chose life. Think about how different the world would be if the 4,058 mothers in Iowa in 2020 also chose life. 4,058. That's a pretty large number for a pretty small state. And it's a number that I hope will decrease through the years. Does anyone here have one of those cars that has the message that comes up when you get out of your car and it tells you to check the back seat? Don't get me wrong, this is great. Obviously, I'm not against something that's designed to protect the infants and children. But I've always wondered, why does our society and our culture become so angry when an infant dies in the back of a hot car, when that same child could have been aborted 3 months prior? That same child's life could have been ended, and nobody would know. There'd be no news coverage because this action has been deemed acceptable by our culture. In fact, the people who become angry with the mother who had forgotten their infant in the back seat are more than likely the same people who are fighting tooth and nail for that mother's right to choose death. I want to end off with the Bible verse, John 10:10. The thief comes only to steal, kill, and destroy. But Jesus says, I came that you may have life and have it abundantly. So although we have the enemy with a plan to kill, steal, and destroy, God's plan to give us abundant life will remain supreme. And although we have the abortion industry among us, I have faith that God's plan to give us abundant life will remain supreme. Thank you.